Welcome to part 4 of our Northumberland 250 adventure, and you find us at Bellingham and we're staying at Brownrigg Lodges. Yeah, we got there, unloaded, dropped everything in our room and then shot off into Bellingham for a Chinese takeaway, which we brought back and used in this kitchen.
There was leaflets in the entrance, one for a Chinese and one for a pizza place, so we got to the Chinese. It was nice.
So we came back, had a Chinese and a can of cider before calling it a night and retiring to our room, which was quite nice.
Only thing, we only had Channel 4. That was it. We couldn't get any other channel.
We watched a bit of TV in the room, but only Channel 4.
First time I've ever found makeup wipes in one of the rooms, which was what was on the little black cloths.
Yeah, it's they ask you to strip your bed when you leave as well. The black bag in the corner is the bedding. We took the bedding off, and they're very big on recycling and things like that.
Yes.
But eventually we got packed up.
Yeah, it was a nice enough room. We enjoyed it. The shower was the most powerful one we had over the full.
It was a
3
nice shower.
stairs.
But you can get some sense of the site as we leave. To the right as we're leaving is the camping and caravanning club site. If you're a camping and caravanning club member.
Which you've stayed at, even though I haven't.
Yeah, I've stayed here before. What we're going to do this morning as we leave, and still haven't given up on finding a Northumbrian sticker for my panniers. So we thought we'd head into Bellingham and go to the Heritage Centre.
Unfortunately, not open.
Yeah, I figured they might have one, but they weren't open and they weren't going to open for another half hour. So I gave it a miss. But this is us coming into Bellingham. It's a nice little place, Bellingham.
Yeah, we'd thought about walk. It was a half-hour walk to the nearest place to eat. So that's why we decided to sort of dump our bags, put our bike kit down and ride and get a takeaway the night before.
Yeah, I didn't fancy this walk. My knee was a bit stiff as well, so it's not so bad walking there and finding something to eat and maybe getting a meal in a pub. It's the stagger back that I really didn't want.
Yeah, and especially after a long day on the bike. I think that was the only downside to that one, where everywhere else we'd been able to get to.
From here, as you cross the bridge, you can walk into Bellingham along the river. But Heritage Centre closed. We set off back along the B6320 and we were heading to Low Brunton. I was going to keep saying Low Burton, but it's Brunton. At which point we'd rejoin the A68. But it was a nice ride, if a little chilly in the morning, but not too bad at all, really.
No, it was definitely better than the sort of first day. It wasn't as cold.
And it was again proven to be a nice bright day.
Yeah, but the one thing we hadn't had was no breakfast at this one. So we were on the lookout for breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast was a thing. We kept, as you say, we were on the lookout for some signs for breakfast. We did pass a couple, but it's like a lot of things. You see the sign just as you go past it, and you've just gone past the junction. I've never understood that, why people put signs for some place on the actual junction, because you've gone past it before you realise what it is.
Yeah, you're just sort of processing, thinking, oh, that's that, and then, oh, but there you pass the junction. Yeah,
and if I saw one and said to you, there's a cafe up ahead, and you didn't respond until after I'd gone past it.
Yeah, because I couldn't see it and I didn't hear him properly.
It's always my fault. Anyway, we got back on the A68 and headed towards... Where did we head towards? Corbridge.
Did we? I know where we were ultimately heading for.
Yeah. I was heading for Tow Law because I thought as we were passing I would call in at Camp Bob and check on the cabin.
But, as we say, eyes open for anywhere that I could possibly find for somewhere to eat.
But it was a nice day and a nice ride. This section across the moor towards Towlaw was a bit breezy. There was a cross breeze. And one thing about the 360 camera, it is susceptible to wind noise. If it's in the right direction, all you get is wind. But eventually, we found somewhere for breakfast.
Oh yes, I spotted a sign. I said, "There's somewhere for breakfast, the next turning on the left."
And it was a lovely breakfast.
Yeah.
And not expensive as well.
No, it wasn't.
So, after a sit down, a nice breakfast, a nice cup of coffee, cup of tea for you, wasn't it?
Yes, a cup of tea.
We got back on the bike for a short ride through Towlaw and onwards to towards Crook.
Yeah, they do a breakfast with a cup of tea from £5, I think it was.
£6 something.
Yeah, but ours was dearer because we didn't go for the cheapest one. But it
wasn't expensive.
No, it
Far
wasn't.
from it.
And there
It
was
was less than
plenty of it.
£15 for 2 full breakfasts and beverages.
Yeah, we just said no black pudding, thank you very much. Neither
This is
of
us
that
in
keen.
Towlaw. I'm just popping through Towlaw. It's been a good trip, I thought. Northumberland is well worth a visit.
I would definitely like to do it again in the car because I'd especially like to go into
Shopping. You'd want to do shopping.
No, that castle, the one we keep saying
Oh,
we're going to go to.
Bamburgh Castle.
Bamburgh. Yes.
Yeah, but we're in the Durham Dales again now. Look at it.
I just think being out in the countryside's nice.
Yeah, it's a different trip altogether on a motorcycle because you really do get all this. Your senses are full. You get the smells,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it makes you more alive because you can feel the environment around you. It's especially nice on a nice day, though.
Yes. And I know you keep trying to convince me to get my licence.
Well, I think you should. I think you should book yourself on a training course and get your bike licence. Then you can have a bike each.
But then I have to get rid of my paper licence and then my driving licence only
It's
lasts
worth it.
10 years.
It's worth it. You'd enjoy it more on your own bike. I'm telling you now. You're not just a passenger then, you're actually part of it. Anyhow, we're getting close.
Yeah, it's always nice getting near Bob. Know when you're getting near. It's time for wind down.
Yeah, Camp Bob is one of my favourite places to be.
Yeah, if you've been a bit irritable during the week, I'll kick him off and say, "Go to Bob." Go to
Irritable?
Bob."
You mean when I'm feeling a bit stressed? When life is stressing me out, I go to the woods and relax.
I tell him he's got to stay the night.
Spending the night in the woods with
The owls.
good mates, a campfire, a beverage or two, and a nice cigar. It's bliss. Well, this is the farm track that leads to camp. So we've had Kielder Forest Drive, and this is a bit rougher.
Well, there was quite a few.
I am going to have to adjust the suspension, increase the preload on it for when we're too up with luggage on roads like this. Possibly even look into changing the rear shock absorber.
No idea what you're talking about, so... Well, I know I was heading for a nice cup of tea and a chat with another Bob member's wife. I left you to go potter around
And
and
here
do
we
what
are.
you did.
Camp Bob in the woods ahead, and it looks like there's a few people here as well. But it is a nice weekend, so not surprised. drop Madam off before I park the bike. We used to have a big summer meet in that field. You can see some of the work that's been going on. We've had a few work weekends and a lot of effort and expense has been put into sorting the paths out because they got really bad during the wet weather. Bit of flooding, very muddy paths. So they've all been sorted now. The main path all the way through to the parachute is sorted. We've opened up some camp areas inside for smaller tents. But with the warmer weather starting, the place is coming alive.
Yep, there's some lovely foxgloves. And the holly we transplanted a few years back from a friend's garden is coming along nice.
Someone's been adding sayings to the trees. But we thought we'd call in, give me a chance to check my shed in the woods and have a brew.
I don't think you'd had one, did you? I did.
I did, I had a drink.
Oh, you had a drink.
Well, you were chatting with Michelle and I went and sorted the cabin out, checked it out, made sure it was alright.
I think I only went to the cabin to use the facilities.
Yeah, I'd also checked the composting loo, see if it needed changing, emptying, whatever. And ahead at the end of the path there you can just make out the parachute. But that's where I stopped filming because I had things to do. So I said, sorted out the cabin, had a chat and a drink. And you had a sit and a chat with Michelle for a while, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we put the world to rights.
As people do. But after a while, we decided it was time to get back on the road.
Yeah, and go back and see our doggies.
Yep, we'd been away from the dogs for a bit, so they needed walking. Even though the son's been walking them, it's not the same. They do like to go out as a pack.
Yes, even if I take them into town to Wags, Dexter still thinks he hasn't been walked until he's been to the woods with his dad.
I'm not his dad. It's a dog.
Okay, with the old man.
Yeah. There we are, chatting as we go down the gravel path.
Yeah, as long as I don't touch the button on the thing, which I have a habit of doing and turning them off.
Oh, you nudge your comms and
Yeah, I turn them off.
break the connection between us for some reason.
Usually if I'm trying to find something or pull my visor down or something, I'll catch it.
God knows how. Sometimes I think you just don't want to listen to me. But it's homeward bound for us now. A familiar road these days for us. We leave camp and head towards Crook and then onwards towards Stockton.
And I'd spent the time on the back of the bike thinking about, would I do it again? Because there was another one booked in for the next month. So
did you enjoy our trip around Northumberland?
I did, and that's why I decided I would go on the next one.
The next bike trip didn't happen. That date's been and gone, but because of the heavy rain we had over the period I'd booked off work, we decided not to go on the bike. There's no point torturing yourself. But we did make the trip, but we took the car. We're going to end the video soon.
Yes,
this is us getting back into Stockton.
Getting very near home.
And as we approached Stockton, we got stuck behind this bus all the way to Stockton Centre, so there's no point carrying on with the video really. We should end it here. What do you think?
That sounds right. If you've watched it all the way through, enjoy your journeys wherever they may take you.
So, ta-ra for now.
Bye.
Ride safe, be safe, have fun.
Thanks for watching Old Man in a Shed.